Good morning, gorgeous ladies. Welcome, welcome. I am super excited to talk to you this morning. When you come on, say hi. Let me know that you're here. If you're watching this later, also please do say hi. I really love it when I know who has joined me for these wonderful transmissions which seem to just flow through. And this morning I'm going to be sharing with you more about how all of the things that I've been talking about in the last couple of lives. So I've been talking a lot about the changes that are coming for all of us, right? Like this movement in these tectonic plates that's happening right now. I've been talking about that a lot. And what I'm going to do this morning is I'm going to link that to what we're going to be doing on the Icon Codes Masterclass and how those two concepts relate. Okay. So, something fundamental is shifting, is happening right now in the quantum field, which is opening up a portal. Okay, a portal has opened for all of us collectively to get us onto that higher timeline. When I say the higher timeline, all I mean by that is to get us into the reality which feels more conducive to our expansion. Okay, the higher timeline is doing things that make you feel more alive, more nourished, more seen, more valued, more affluent. Like this is what the higher timeline looks and feels like, okay? And what happens is when the universe is ready to springboard us, to elevate us up to that next level of the timeline, what it does is it squashes us where we currently are. Let me know if that makes sense. It makes where we currently are feel even more uncomfortable. Why? So that it becomes more intolerable to stay, right? And I know from the conversations that I've been having recently with friends and with clients that there is a collective theme here of something in your life, in my life, in our lives, feeling increasingly out of alignment, right? Increasingly uncomfortable. Whether that's the home environment, the relationship, the bringing your soul gifts to the world but not quite doing it fully, whatever story or frustration is playing out for you at the moment, I just want you to know that it is completely divinely orchestrated. So it's okay. Like whatever's happening now that's uncomfortable, I'm just here to say it's okay. It's not even only that it's okay, it's inevitable. Because if the universe doesn't make it uncomfortable for us to stay in the smaller box, in the smaller crab bucket, we're going to freaking stay there because it's comfortable and it's familiar. Okay? But a portal has opened up in the quantum field. Think of it like a velvet curtain opening, creating the opportunity for each and every one of us to step forwards. And to step forwards more boldly, more viscerally, more visibly, more purposefully than we have ever done before. Yeah? And that can feel scary. That can feel like an edge. And I'm here to support you to gently and tentatively begin to explore that edge. Okay? Because that's where you come to life. That's where you come to life. And I'm curious to know, how many of you feel in your heart of hearts, let me know in the comments, how many of you feel in your heart of hearts that there is something bigger, something bolder that you have come to this earth plane to do, to share, to embody, to create. You feel it, right? You know it. There's something bigger. There's something meaningful that is meant to be birthed through you, and it can only come through you because each one of us is here with our unique blueprint. Your gifts are completely unique to you. And your ultimate gift to the world is to release them. And in order to release them, you need to decide that you are worthy to be the conduit for those gifts, and that you contractually with the quantum field are agreeing to be the conduit for those gifts. Does that make sense? And I feel like what a lot of us have been doing, myself included, is we've been half doing it. Yeah, we've been half doing it. We've been going, okay, well, if I'm meant to be a coach, then I'll do that a little bit at the weekend or on a Thursday, but I'll keep the day job. Right? Or if you're meant to expand your business, if you're meant to buy a hairdressing salon, if you're meant to, whatever it is that you're meant to do, you're meant to set up a platform, if you're meant to create a podcast, if you're meant to write a book, it's like we've been flirting with the possibility of it for years, or we've been doing it somewhat for an amount of time now. And it's like the universe is saying to us now, are you all in? Are you willing to be all in? Because if you are, then we, the quantum field, are ready to amplify you now. And it's literally now, ladies. Like, it's not next year. It's not next month. It's literally now. And that might be scary, right? Let me know if it's scary. That might be scary. But it's now. It's for your highest good. It's for the highest good of every single person who comes into contact with you. And right now, you stepping deeper into your gifts is the single most impactful thing you can do to shift the quantum field, to shift this reality that we find ourselves in, right? The answer is not in finding everything that's wrong with the external reality, because we can do that forever and ever and ever and ever, and it will still be the same narratives playing out in the 3D. The way we shift the collective field is we agree energetically to become the iconic version of ourselves. Okay? So the iconic version of you is very simply the cleanest version of your frequency, the most unapologetic version of you. It's the most colourful version of you. It's the most creative version of you. It's the most authentic version of you. And it's the version of you that is most closely connected to your magical child. Okay? That is your iconic self. Now, oftentimes, we end up playing these narrative loops in our heads, right? Of all the reasons why we can't become that version. I can't become that version because I'm not good enough. I can't become that version because I'm still carrying this wound from my childhood. I can't be that version because there's other people already doing it, or there's people doing it better than me, or whatever, right? These are all stories that we tell ourselves that sound very compelling and keep us in the crab bucket. And what I'm here to share with you this morning is that your gifts are unique to you, and nobody can bring those gifts better than you, because those are the ones that have been gifted by Great Spirit to you directly in a pipeline into your auric field. Okay. So the reason why I've chosen Frida Kahlo, Marilyn Monroe, and Sinead O'Connor for us to look at on the icon codes, I'll tell you why I've specifically chosen those three, is because each of them had a core wound in childhood which they learnt to transmute and alchemize into their most potent gift to the world. Okay? So often we think that the things that happened to us in childhood which didn't make us feel good, whether that was the abandonment wound, whether that was shaming, whether that was isolation, not having friends, whether that was an unhappy family, whatever that was that happened in childhood that created those wounds, we often walk through this life with a misconception that those wounds are the things that are going to hold us back forever. And what the Icon Codes Masterclass is going to show you is how those childhood wounds, when we learn to work consciously with them and alchemize them, hold codes which become your most potent gifts that you can literally monetize, that you can literally turn into your entire business. Okay? If I hadn't had such a challenging childhood within my family, being so unhappy, I would never have birthed my Inner Twins program to transform and to heal the inner child. Yeah? If my life had been easy and plain sailing, I would never have gone deep into the Amazon, into Peru, to work with shamans and plant medicines to try to heal myself and then receive the codes that I needed to receive to get on the higher timeline. Does this make sense? So every single thing that's happened to you that's painful holds the code for your most potent gifts. And the whole concept of the Icon Codes Masterclass is for me to help you to begin to identify and to unlock those codes by recognizing how that transformational arc played out in Marilyn's life, in Sinead O'Connor's life, and in Frida Kahlo's life. All of them turned their deepest, most painful wounds into absolute pure magic that catapulted them into the realms of icon, to the point where we're still so freaking fascinated with them 3 generations later, in the case of Marilyn, in the case of Frida Kahlo, right? They left a lasting impression on the collective consciousness because they showed us what it looks like to live a life that's so radically and unapologetically you. And so by tapping into their story, by tapping into the arc of their transformation, you will begin to recognize the codes for your own transformation. How you get to alchemize the things that happened to you that didn't feel good into offerings that become your signature offerings in this world at this time, where they are so, so, so needed. So I'm going to talk a little bit about this concept of choosing to be there, like this concept of investing in yourself. Okay. So most of you who've done my masterclasses up to now, you have been used to them being free. Okay. And I love offering free content. I will always offer free content. I'm offering free content right now because that matters to me, that as many people who are meant to get these codes from my frequency can access them. Okay. With this one, with the Icon Codes Masterclass, I felt very, very guided to charge. Okay. And I felt very, very guided to charge a very, very accessible amount. Okay, so these icon codes are $33. This is the equivalent energetically of you investing 1 pence in order to get £10,000 back. Okay, that is the energy exchange that I'm offering through this masterclass. I wanted to make the amount of money a no-brainer. I wanted to make it an amount of money that you could spend on 2 or 3 or 4 items of shopping in the supermarket. Okay, it's nothing. But it's significant because every time we make an investment in ourselves, so by you making an investment in yourself through me to unlock your own icon codes, you are sending a message into the quantum field. I am ready to invest in myself. Yeah? I'm ready to make a bold statement to the universe that I'm ready to receive these codes. And I'm ready to cross this threshold, this monetary threshold, which holds codes in and of its own right, so that I am buying my ticket, I am buying my entrance into this magical vortex, where each of us who have chosen to be there will be amplifying the frequency of being there. Does that make sense? So when we invest in ourselves, even if it's a really small amount, it's like saying, I'm here, I mean it, I want this, I'm ready, I'm in the receptive mode. And for those of you who've already stepped in and you are ready to receive those codes on the 3rd, 4th and 5th of October, once I can see the names of the women who are in, what that does for me is it helps me to calibrate to those women, right? It helps me to be like, Lindsay's in. I'm already feeling her energy in the space. I'm already feeling the codes that want to come through for her. I'm already feeling the codes that want to come through for Kath. I'm already feeling the codes that want to come through for Heidi or whoever it is who's in the space. Yeah? So that's an energetic exchange between you and I that begins the minute you're stepping into the space. And it's an edge for me to talk about money. It's an edge for me to be having this conversation with you now. But it matters. It matters that I show you, by me stepping into what feels slightly uncomfortable, it matters that I show you that I'm walking the walk of what I'm teaching. Does it make sense? And just on a little practical note, for those of you who are like, I really, really want to do this Icon Codes Masterclass. The thing is that I'm not free on Tuesday, Wednesday or Thursday, the 3rd, 4th and 5th of October. If you've looked at the dates and thought I'm not free for all of those or I'm not free at that time, I just want to share with you that it really, really doesn't matter. Money and time are the 2 things that we most frequently use as an unconscious excuse not to up level. Okay, so I'd love to, I don't have time. I'd love to, I don't have money. Believe me, I've used these a million times. Because there's a part of us that's really afraid to be the more visible, iconic, sparkling, magnetic version of ourselves, right? Like we want it, we think we want it, and then we get scared. And then we look for things that exist in the 3D like money and time, and we make those things the block. Okay? So I'm just inviting you, not just in the context of this masterclass, but in the wider context of life, to heighten your awareness of where those 2 things, you might be drawing on them as an unconscious way to protect yourself from the things that are actually going to elevate you and make your life infinitely more magical and sparkly. So as far as the time thing, think of it like, say if you bought a book on Amazon, right? Because you know that that book has got information and codes in it for things that you want to learn. And imagine that you're hoping that that book will arrive on Wednesday at 10. But it doesn't. It arrives on Friday at 12 or Saturday at 1 or whatever. It doesn't matter that you didn't get the book on the Wednesday, right? It doesn't matter that you got the book on the Friday or the Saturday. What matters is that you've got the codes, the information, and the wisdom in the book that your soul was seeking. Does it make sense? So it's exactly the same with a masterclass. If you can be there on the day at the time, amazing. If you can be there on 1 out of the 3 days, 2 out of the 3 days live, amazing. If you can't be there on any of the days live, but you can catch it in the evening in the bath, or you can catch it the next day, or even the next week, trust that. Trust that also. Because the universe brings us the codes at the time that we can most easily receive them. So for you, that might be later in the day, or it might be another day entirely. And I just invite you to release any blocks around time. It really doesn't matter. What matters is your choice to release the iconic version of yourself, free from shame, free from fear, free from any of the things that are holding you back. I've got you. I've got me. I've got us. We're going to walk this threshold together. These codes are brand new. They've never been spoken through me before. I feel very connected to the spirit of Marilyn. She's been talking to me a lot on my woodland walks the last few days. Her essence has been kind of dropping into my field of consciousness, the aspects that she would like me to highlight for the purpose of the masterclass. I feel very connected to Sinead. I feel her kind of shy energy around us. Like, I feel her spirit feeling kind of shy and also very flattered that we want to extract the soul codes from her life and extract the meaning from that so we can create deeper meaning around the context of our own lives. And I feel connected to the rebel, the righteous rebel in Frida that's like galvanizing all of us to just fucking be way more radically ourselves. Unapologetic, creative, creatrix, divine feminine incarnations that we are in this time-space reality, with the power within each and every one of you to play your part in shifting the collective landscape. The key is there, and on the Icon Codes Masterclass, we're going to unlock that key together. If you have any questions about it, please reach out to me anytime in my DMs. Any questions about anything to do with working with me, the masterclass, anything at all, any thoughts, any fears, any questions, any doubts, any triggers, anything, I'm available to receive and to connect with you and to support you in any way that I can to find your yes for life in general. And to find your yes for the icon codes, if that feels like a yes inside your body. Always follow and trust the inner guidance of your body, because it will not lead you astray. So I love you. I thank you all for being here this morning to catch me for this little impromptu one. Thank you, Laura. Thank you, Sadie. Thank you, Melissa, Vanessa, Beatrice, Hannah. I don't think the comments are being shown to me, but I'm going to look at them now. So if you have a question or you have some feedback or you just want to say thank you, drop it now. And as soon as I finish this transmission, I will chat with you in the comments. Have a gorgeous day. I love you. And I will see my icons very soon. Aho.